Today I have Aliyah Royale here of The Walking Dead World Beyond. We're going to talk about that show along with what can everybody expect. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm so happy to be here. I mean, the show is literally like 48 hours away. This is crazy.
It is crazy. You know, a whole year ago we last seen each other when we was on the set, and now a year later we're in front of our screens. Isn't that crazy?
That was literally a year ago. It's weird. We were supposed to air in April, and due to the pandemic, things got pushed back. But we're back. We're better. And I think October is the great time for the show to come out. You know, everyone's into spooky stuff this month, and what's more spooky than walkers?
Exactly. Well, on your show it's called Empties.
Empties, because they're just dead inside. There's nothing in there anymore.
You know, I have to get this first question right out of the way. How have you been holding up since this pandemic started?
Good. I'm really good. Surprisingly, I'm good. I like to be busy. I like to always be on the road, always traveling. I think that's the military brat in me. And for a couple of years now, I've been able to like just jump from project to project and be on the road. So this was the first time that I was sitting still and sleeping for more than 6 hours. And it was fine. It was cool, but I'm definitely ready to get my hands dirty again, ready to get Shiloh, my weapon, back in my hands because she's incredible. But I'm really happy about the season we're in right now. Fall is my time. My trench coats, my thigh-high boots. I'm ready for it.
You know, last time we spoke, we talked about how you got your role, where as you told us that you found out when you was literally in the movies that you got the role. Now we're going to talk about some of the interactions you have with the characters, because Hope is your sister. I would like to ask you first, how did you and Alexa build that bond with the two characters?
Alexa has been, she's been my sister from the very start, honestly. It was just easy. It was really easy relationship to develop, which is why I think it's so effortless on camera. It was real. Like, that's my girl, ride or die, forever and ever. It's a big deal to be leading a show as two young women, you know, it's on us, you know what I mean? And we had to trust each other during that process and trust like, however you're feeling, I'm gonna match it. And whatever we're doing it together. And we're always gonna have this bond.
You know, I've loved seeing the bond that the both of you grew on the first and the second episode. But I want to talk about the first episode real quick. Now, the first episode is when we found out that your dad was taken away by CRM, and we also found out the tragic backstory of both Iris, Hope, and some of the other characters. How much has Scott Gimple worked with all of you to bring that bond together and for us to see that all these characters had a tragic backstory?
You know, I think the secrets probably wrote themselves. I also think that's what's powerful about the show is you are getting a young adult perspective on it, but we're dealing with very real issues, very real trauma. We've had very adult situations that, you know, we should have never even experienced. But when the night the sky fell, what we call the apocalypse happened, you know, you had to grow up a little faster. But Scott Gimple's great. Matt Negretti, our showrunner, is incredible. Just the way that he and the other writers would write something, and then we'd finally perform it, and he'd see it on camera, and he'd go like, "I didn't even think that you would say the line that way. Let's go in this direction now." Like the story changed as we played the characters. It was such a collaborative effort, and I think that's what makes those secrets and those traumas so much more powerful.
You know, the other thing that caught my eye in the first episode was the sign yourself and everybody else made towards CRM before they landed, which was a funny sign for me. Who drew the sign, and was there any lines that all of you thought of before drawing the one line you guys and women showed CRM?
Right. It was, yeah, my sister, you know, Hope is she's a ball of joy. That was a really fun scene to shoot. The way that I fixed the sign is by using like bobby pins that were in my hair or something. I think we're doing really great work on the show, especially introducing the Walking Dead universe to the CRM even more. We've had minor introductions. We've had, seeing the 3 rings on Rick's helicopter. But I think World Beyond gives everyone a new perspective of this powerful organization that is lying around every corner.
Now, what was your favorite scene that you've been part of for the first 2 episodes? Because I know the
Oh,
second episode, towards the end, we deal with a huge fire at the tire place.
right. I think within that fire is probably my favorite scene. For the first 2 episodes, we really solidified that moment of we are sisters, and even if we disagree on the best way to execute the plan, we're doing it together. And that's just the end all be all. In that fire scene, Hope is in danger with some walkers, and I come to her rescue, and then I'm in danger and she comes to my rescue. It's the sisters, and they're tag teaming, and they're working it out, and it's just a really powerful moment to see these 2 young women working together, even if they don't agree on everything. The most important thing is keeping everyone alive and keeping everyone safe through this journey, and we do that.
And I remember last year you also told me that Negan was your favorite character, especially since he named his weapon Lucille, and you named your weapon too. Have you heard from Jeffrey Dean Morgan ever since last year?
No, the last time I spoke to him was at New York Comic Con, and he was super kind and super funny and charming. I'm hoping that I get to run into him again, or at least like a Zoom call. That would be the greatest like Christmas present, would be Jeffrey Dean Morgan being like, "Merry Christmas, Aaliyah." That's it. That's the only thing I need in that big. Yeah, I love naming my weapon Shiloh. I mean, do you really love your weapon if it doesn't have a name? Like, let's think about that. You know what I mean? I I love that there's Lucille, and I love that there's Shiloh in this universe.
Heard you're pursuing biochemistry and immunology, taking after your father. I should thank you for that too.
Oh, gotta do it.
And you? One of your security personnel filled me in. Sounds like you had quite the distillery gang. That's also impressive. So how did you get in?
You know what? I'm good. I don't need to listen to this crap.
How did you put it in perspective of Nico training all of you to kill walkers, even though you watched the show for about 10 years and you've seen how it's done, but now you got put the thought of, hey, this is how I'm going to learn for the first time of how to kill these walkers and empties. How did you put that thought process into that character, Iris?
I definitely, I think one of the strongest things that we did in terms of preparing for the fight sequences and the combat was the moment we touched down in Virginia. We did 4 hours of stunt training, 4 hours of combat training with weapons, hand-to-hand combat, all sorts of sequences to prepare us for the stunts that we were about to do. And then the moment we actually get our weapons in our hands, it's next level. It feels natural, that combat, it just comes out of you like it's like you're just ready for it. Nico's character Felix does really well with
Felix.
teaching us like logically, like this is how you should kill, and this is how maybe don't kill, maybe the best thing to do is avoidance, things like that. But it's a different world when you're actually out there and you're in the field, like when logically I'm supposed to attack here, but when you're actually in the field and the dead is standing before you, it's something totally different. It's a whole other challenge.
You have any funny stories working with the cast?
Oh my God! Every day on set is a party. It's great. I don't even know if this is like necessarily funny, but this is actually something that I've been talking about for a minute now, and people seem to like it. The reason why Alexa and I have such a great relationship is because the first week I was on the ground in Virginia, I had woken up from a nightmare one night, and I was like, I need some air. So I opened the door to my room, and a legitimate spirit walked right through me, like right through me as I opened the door. And it scared the lights out of me. I called my mom crying. I was like, I need you to start praying right now, girl. Start praying. And I called Alexa and I was like, I need you to know there was a ghost in my apartment and we now live together. And she was like, that's fine. Come on over, move in. And that moment on, we lived together for the rest of the shoot. That's why, like, that sisterly relationship was there. I mean, we were literally in the same apartment for 6 months together. That's my best friend, my roommate, my sister forever and ever.
Now, also on the second episode, we find all of you are going out for the adventure for the very first time and stumbled upon a treehouse. One scene that caught my attention was when you all dropped the bowling ball on that empty. Tell me how exactly all of you got it in one precision time.
We have a great editing team, just talented people in post-production. That actually, now that I think about it, like re-watching that scene in my head is, that's one of the grossest scenes that we have. It's fun. My favorite part of that scene is just being in that treehouse with them and laughing and joking and finding things to do in the treehouse, play with toys that are around, getting a little bit back of the childhood that we lost.
I hope I do not find any bowling balls dropping on me now ever since I watched
No,
that one.
not at all. Just stay away from bowling alleys, bowling balls altogether.
So I could take it that you're not a bowling person, are you?
Okay, should we put the bumpers up? Then, yeah, I got game. If the bumpers are down, I think it's safer for everyone if I don't put that ball in my hand. I can navigate my weapon. A bowling ball, that's another story. Can't do that one.
I want to also bring up CRM too, and some behind the scenes info from you. Did you get a chance to actually go inside the helicopter to take off at least once?
Oh, in my dreams. The thing about that is everyone has to be like certified to be in that helicopter. But it was awesome just to be there, and I don't think I've ever been that close to a helicopter, so watching it come in and land and take off and come back in again, it was really incredible. I definitely want to do those like architectural tours, but like in a helicopter. That's definitely on my bucket list after working on the show.
Now, what can fans expect for the entire season? I've watched the first 2 episodes, but everyone else is going to start watching it this weekend. But what can fans expect?
We're going to war. Honestly, it starts as this journey of like, we're finding ourselves and we're getting to know each other as people in ways that we couldn't get to know each other in the community. And then it becomes literal war. There's just a wage of like what's good and what's evil and who's working towards the cure and who's working towards controlling everyone in the world. Just that navigation between good and evil, it's one of the underlying themes of the show, and we all have to decide which side we're on, and that's a really fun thing to watch.
Well, depending on which side I choose, I like CRM and I like your group, so I'm kind of like, I don't know who to choose.
To understand, like being on set, seeing the CRM uniforms, you're like, damn, they look cool. Like it's really hard to be like, is this a sketchy organization? They look so cool. They had one of my favorite costumes. I love the CRM military. Like I love their military uniforms, but we're gonna leave it up to the viewers to decide how they're feeling.
Now, what is your favorite episode of The Walking Dead, the main show?
I think I'm gonna go with the episode where we see Abraham's death.
Oh,
that is
701.
That is one of my favorite. Okay, but like only Michael Cudlitz directed several episodes of The Walking Dead World Beyond, and he's incredibly talented on and behind the screen. and it was just fun to work with a Walking Dead legend. But also anybody who gets taken out by my baby Negan, I'm always like, good job, babe. Like, I don't know why. He's like my favorite chaotic character. It's like, are you chaotic evil? Are you chaotic neutral? Is this just Negan? He's one of my favorite like villains on the show. I love Negan, and I love Michael Cudlitz. So yeah.
As you can tell behind me, the posters there, he's one of my favorites too. Ever since he was introduced in the comics, I was hooked onto him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just so much fun to watch. And I always think it's so interesting to find a character who could be presented with the same choices as us. And we, like you and I, can go, this is the right choice. And they'll go, what are you talking about? No. This horrible thing is the right thing to do. Like, it's this. I love watching characters make that choice, make choices that we wouldn't normally make, and feel totally justified in doing that. Or maybe it's a what the hell moment. This is just what I want to do. Those characters are so interesting to me and really fun to play.
Last year we were speaking on the sets. You bring up that your brothers still do not believe that you are on the show. Have they watched the episodes yet?
They have not watched the episodes yet, but they're definitely spreading around the trailers and any behind the scenes stuff that we've put out. I think it's still surreal to my brothers because they haven't really seen it yet. But all of their friends are like, what? Your sister's on The Walking Dead? And it's a whole thing. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the show to come out.
Last question for you, since this pandemic is still going on. Do you know when exactly are you all going to come back to film for season 2?
We already have had the writers room up for a while. We have an incredible season 2 planned for you guys. We're going to production really, really soon. It's in the near future, and I'm excited to get back to Shiloh and start slicing and dicing again.
Slicing and dicing.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun being like a zombie killer. That's what I do, and I love it.
Hopefully when the conventions and everything else come back, we will meet each other either on the red carpet or at one of the convention booths. Hopefully.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the second I can see you, I can see fans, and just be in this community together again. I really miss it.
Real quick, where can everybody find you on social media?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Aliyah Royale. That's ALIYAHROYALE.
ROYALE.
Royale.
And she did the snap too, everyone.
What can I say?